Welcome to this video series on the course Business Communication and Ethics. This course is there for 5th semester of all engineering branches of Mumbai University. The course code for third semester engineering is CSL 505. It has got 2 credits and 50 marks term work. So the syllabus, as you can see here, for the first module, which is report writing, is as follows. The first is objectives of report writing, language and style in a report, and some forms or types will be seen like informative and interpretative, and some forms as you have just seen, memo, letter, short and long reports will be seen. Today for this video we'll simply see the objectives as well as the language part here. So coming to the word report, it is derived from the Latin word reportere, where re means back and portere means to carry. So a report is a description of an event carried back to someone who was not present on the scene. So we'll see some other definitions and objectives of report as well. The first definition, I'll quote all these definitions and we'll try to infer the objectives given in those definitions. So the first definition, a report is an orderly and objective presentation of information that helps in decision making and problem solving. So there are two words which are important. One is orderly and objective. So we'll see at the end what is the meaning. A report is a communication from someone who has some information to someone who wants to use this information. So that's a basic objective why reports are created. So the flow of information from the one who is having that information to someone who seeks that. So the first information definition was from Rohini Agarwal, and this definition has been given by C.A. Brown. Next, which is given by Mr. Brian Platt. A report is a presentation of facts and findings, usually as a basis for recommendations, written for a specific readership and probably intended to be kept as a record. So there are some assets, there are some divisions here which we'll see individually. A report is a presentation of facts and finding. So a report has to be factual, that is being iterated in all these definitions as we can see. It has to elaborate on the facts and findings, but it should not go long describing in some literal way, or we can say that should be very much factual, usually as a basis for recommendations. Why the reports are done or created? So there may be some kind of survey, there may be some kind of research, and based on the survey or the research, based on the findings, as you can see here, some recommendations can be put forth. Next, written for a specific readership. That is very important. Reports are not for various categories of readers. I mean, it's a specific that may be there for a particular researchers in a particular field, that may be there for students, that may be there for a particular readership, you can say, and probably intended to be kept as a record. So reports are very important. Whatever the findings that have been drawn may be useful in the future as well. That's why they can be kept as a record. So these are very important aspects of the report. The last definition that we are going to see is by Sharma and Mohan. A written statement of the facts of a situation, project, process or test. That has to be a written statement of the facts and situation of a situation, or maybe of a project or a process or even a test. How these facts were ascertained, how these facts were found out, how they were found to be legitimate. So these things, their significance, why these particular points were important, the conclusions that have been drawn from these facts, and in some cases the recommendations that are being made. So as you have just seen, out of the findings, some based on the conclusions, there may be some recommendations as well. So let us go forth. Essentials of report. Any report that has to have these qualities: a formal statement of facts or information, or an account of something. As you have seen, it has to be a formal statement, and that has to be based on facts. Whatever forms that we are using to generate the report has been sanctioned by long and varied experience. The way in which the contents of the reports are put, those specific ways have got some meaning, and that has been sanctioned by, that has been proved by a long and varied experience. People have studied on various forms, and that the conventional form has been devised now. As we have just seen, the report has to be written for a specific audience. Now it includes procedures of collecting data and significance of such data. Especially for research works, whatever, I mean some kind of analysis, surveys, the data is very important, and that has to be collected, and there are various ways in which the data can be collected. So there are some predefined procedures that may be laid out in the report. So procedures, why those particular procedures, what are these procedures, and why particularly the data had been collected in those particular procedures. That means the significance of such data collection. Conclusion reached by the writer or the author, we can say. Based on the data and the processing on those data, there may be some conclusions, some kind of analysis done, and that those conclusions will be should be there in the report. Often includes recommendations. Rather, we have seen this previously. Based on those findings, there may be whatever conclusions that the author or the researcher has drawn. Based on that, there may be some recommendations. So this can be done. For example, that appears to be something like this based on the data collected, and the conclusions were so and so, and that's why this should be done or this should not be done, for example. Essentially, this line is very important. The report covers everything that has to be covered, but nothing more. Let me repeat. The report covers everything that has to be covered, but nothing more. As the line is very clear, it has to have all the things, all the data, the procedures of collecting, whatever conclusions that has been drawn, some recommendations, but there should not be anything other than that that may deviate the reader from the actual thing of interest. So the importance, why study business report writing? There may be a question in your mind. How it will benefit my career? Why should I study all those chaos? So there are two aspects. One is business point of view, and there is one personal point of view. In the business viewpoint, as you can see, in any business organization, communication is very important. Most of the things are done with the help of communication, you can say. Reports form a major role in written communication. They have a major role in written communication. Now, as you already know, most of the business organizations today are information driven. So the managers may be taking decision based on some legacy information, maybe sometimes some real-time information. So information is very important, and if that information is authentic and has been generated by authorized people and in a very scientific manner, that may help take proper decisions. And that's why reports are very important so far as businesses are concerned. It is also a great tool for convincing research results. So far as research is concerned, whenever you want to prove something, you want to convince something, this is something like this, or this should be done like this, or this is my new finding. You just can't take a single line and go on telling. There has to be some kind of research done previously, which is based on some data collection and the processing. There may be some findings out of it, and all these phases have been put forth in the report in a very scientific manner, which you may present as a solid proof of what you are convincing. So it happens to be a great tool for convincing the research results. Studies by many universities have found that reports in the case of business organizations is very important. So far as personal perspective is concerned, report writing is an ability. If one has got that ability, it may be helpful in impressing his or her superiors with some intellectual writing, and that may induce some advancement in his or her career. That is one part. Now, there has been an estimate that engineers, the executives, government officers, all those people spend 75% of their time writing or processing reports. So you may come to know how much important reports are. If 75% of time you need to process something, you need to thoroughly study that. Report writing develops the ability. This is very important. Listen. Report writing develops the ability to discriminate. Discriminate means to bifurcate, to separate out, to differentiate, we can say. Organize. Organize means whatever there may be, whenever you are performing some research, there are many data of interest, out of which you should be able to discriminate which are more important or particularly important for this particular research and which are not. And based on that, you can organize those data, which are more important, less important, and things like that. And based on the processes done on those data, you may judge and communicate. So judge means what? Whatever the conclusions, based on those conclusions, you can simply find out and then come to a conclusion that this is right or this is not right. This is judging. And lastly, with the report, you will be able to formally communicate whatever processes you have done, and then accordingly the conclusions. So from the personal perspective as well, report writing is very important. Now we are coming to how the way the report should be written, or the languages, or the language in reports. Now, as you have just seen, communication is very important, and that has to be done. Report, or the ultimate aim of the report, as we have just seen in the definition, communication must be done from the one who is presenting, the one who is listening or reading. And for that communication to happen, the report must be received by the recipient, the reader, you can say. Now, for that recipient to receive it thoroughly, the language must be adapted to whatever the reader it is there. There may be different types of reader. So for example, there are two categories we can say. One is simple, where there may be a single listener or reader for that report, or there may be a group of homogeneous people who are from the same field or from the same intellectual level, you can say. So that becomes very simple to present information to such people. If there is a single person, you can tailor the way or the method to that particular person. And the second category, where different type of people are there, varying, where the intellectual abilities of the people may be different, diverse type of mentalities may be there, and this is a crucial thing or crucial category and very important, and rather say we can difficult to cater to everybody. And in those scenarios as well, the language must be adapted to the reader. And in those scenarios where there are variety of people, you should put the findings or writing in such a way, in such a language that will not be boring to the most intellectual people of the team or group, and that should not that should also be easy to understand for the category of people or group of people from that group who are at not that intellectual level. Now, ability to simplify. More and more you get experience, you get more education, you must be able to put the things in a simplified way. That is the ability the experience gives you or the expertise gives you. So that is very important. You should be able to put the all that information and findings in a simplified way so that it should be easy for the reader to get it. Readability. Next. Readability is dependent on what words you select, word choice. It also depends on the length of sentence as well as the paragraph. There may be lengthy sentences that may not be easy for the user to get or the reader to get. There may be lengthy paragraphs that may not be, it may not be that simple for the user to conceive whatever that has been given. So word choice, different words carry different meanings. We'll see further. Be judgmental. So as we have just seen, we should not be mechanical. So this is written how the report should be written, and based on that we are simply going on writing. Based on your readers, you have to modulate, you have to somewhere change something and be in such a way that will be beneficial to the ultimate users or the readers, we can say. Now coming to the word selection or the word choice that we were seeing. Now we know that words carry, different words carry different shares of meaning, you can say. For example, you know the difference between hear, H-E-A-R, and listen. Where listen particularly means listening or hearing carefully, that is listening. So there may be some other instances I want to, or examples you can say. Few, F-E-W. So few and less. So sometimes these two words are used interchangeably. Rather, few should be used in instances where the items are discrete. For example, number of items, individuals you want to convey, then you can use there were few people. You should not say less people. Whereas in the case of discrete quantities, for example, some value, degree or amount you want to say, you can say less value, etc. So selecting the proper words is very important. Now we should be using strong and vigorous words. We are still into word selection. Now, for example, there is a word called as tycoon, Tycoon. Now, this should be used instead of some phrase like eminently successful business executive. So, tycoon is more appropriate word here that carries a subtle meaning, that is more than eminently successful business executive. Next is one example is boom, BOOM. It gives a stronger impression of an improvement in the economy than period of simply saying that it was a period of business prosperity, you can say. So we should be further using specialized words with caution. Now, if somebody is from computers or computer field and you are saying something like CPU, ALU, that person may know what is that ALU. That word ALU means, but for other people from different fields, it may not be, they may not know the meaning of that. So we should be using words with very much of caution. We should be preferring active voice where on or over passive voice. So for example, now in the case of parts of speech, verbs are the strongest part, and verbs are at their strongest when they are in active voice. So we should always be using most of the times, or where it is possible, active voice, because in active voice the subject does the action, whereas in passive voice it receives the action. Passive voice does have its place, however, it gives you a way to vary sentence structure and to shift emphasis. You can shift the emphasis based on whether you are using active voice and passive voice. Next, we should avoid overuse of camouflaged words. We are here. Avoid overuse of camouflaged words. So, for example, imagine a statement: elimination of the excess material was effected by the crew. Now here the verb is elimination, to eliminate, but that has been used as a noun, abstract noun you can say. So that does not rather carry the actual meaning, or does not rather carry the actual emphasis. What is the emphasis? The crew has eliminated the excess material, and that should be written like that only. What is that? Instead of writing elimination of the excess material was effected by the crew, we should write the crew eliminated the excess material. So with that example, you come to know how the emphasis has to be written. That has to be proper. We should be putting our formulations and writing in a non-discriminatory language. Rather than simply saying for a particular gender, you can say his and her, for example, in a sentence. When a customer needs service, it is his right to ask for it. Rather than saying that, we can say his or her right. That basically means either that a customer can be a man or can be a woman. Now, we should be arranging the words grammatically. Now, this is very important so far as the grammar is concerned, because whenever we change the sequence can, as we have just seen with some examples, can mean different things. And design paragraph carefully, where the paragraphs basically are meant to convey a homogeneous chunk of information. We should split different things in different paragraphs. So far we have seen a report in this lecture. There are different definitions, and with those definitions we have seen what are the different objectives of reports. Next we have seen what essential things which are to be there in any report. We have then seen the importance, and lastly we have seen the language to be used in a report. So at the end, let me remind you of my blog, which is given here. The path is visible here. https://vishalparkar.blogspot.com, where the particular page that is devoted to this BC subject, business communication and ethics, is as you can see here. So thank you.